Further away from that thing. Can we have a wider circle, please? Can we have a wider circle again?
Yeah, rack a bit, everybody.
Can we have a wider circle?
Sorry, just wait a minute.
E-Y.
S-M-A-R-E-Y.
S-N.
S-N-A-R-E-Y. What's the first name?
Roy.
And your rank, Mr. Snowden?
Assistant Chief Officer.
Assistant Chief.
Sorry, where are we going, Nobby? I must talk to my minder.
Yes, minder.
Paintings have actually been lost. They are, I'm told, not very important ones.
Do you know the names?
No, I'm afraid that they don't know yet.
Did you say the Henry VIII one has been slightly damaged?
Yes, the Tudor ones have suffered a great deal of water damage.
Cloth of gold.
Yes, yes.
And apart from that, furniture? Some items of furniture?
Some items of furniture, yes.
Have been lost.
Yes. Not very much. I would like to pay tribute again to the marvellous way in which people turned out. We have a salvage squad, and they were taking down, when I was up there, the canopy on one of the state beds, and they were determined to save what could be saved.
Were efforts made to protect what couldn't be carried out?
The first thing that happened was that the people were got out.
Yeah.
As soon as there was the danger of fire breaking out and smoke, the people got out, and I'm very glad to say they were got out. It took some time to actually waken one person, but they were got out, and that's marvellous, and I spoke to them. Good.
How many people were got there?
About half a dozen, 6 or 7.
Thank you very much.
Okay, your help.
Thank you.
I live in Surrey, so I pay.
Sorry, so. Can you say how badly damaged the palace is?
Well, as you can see, there are 3 floors affected behind us. One's the cartoon gallery, and one is the upper floor as well. And the roof has gone in on this part. This is the Wren part of the palace, and the damage is quite severe, and it will cost a lot to replace, obviously. I'm very glad to say that the people who were living here were got out before the fire really took a hold, and that must be our major concern, of course. There's still one person unaccounted for. I don't know whether she'll be found.
There's no word yet about her?
No, not yet. As regards what's been damaged here, the salvage squad turned up in the early hours. As soon as the alarm was given, we have a volunteer squad who come from the area, and they saved a lot of the paintings, I'm very glad to say, and the furniture and the other ornaments.
How many paintings were lost?
I think about a couple were actually lost. They were not the most important. The famous Tudor paintings, The Field of the Cloth of Gold and Henry VIII's family, have been saved, but damaged by water. I've seen them in the cleaner's gallery, and it would require a lot of work to restore them.
So how would you assess the work done by the fire brigade?
Very good indeed. They've got here very quickly. I have the greatest praise for them. They've done marvellously. They saved the people, which is important, and they and our own staff saved as much as we could of what are quite irreplaceable parts of our history.
So how would you assess the damage to Britain's heritage? What's happened?
Well, this fire was contained. It didn't spread to the Tudor part of the palace, and it was contained in that wing. So we should be grateful for that at least. But there has been damage, and I'm very sad, and I'm sure the whole country is very sad for that.
Thank you. Which are the treasures?
Yes.
Can we bear in mind it's tomorrow morning?
Yes.
That's a more general question.
Yes, of course.
You're freezing, you must be.
Go on.
First
Let
of
me clean my glasses. Right.
you were talking about yesterday,
Yes, of course.
What's your reaction to what's happened, your feeling?
Very, very sad indeed. Hampton Court is one of the great palaces in our country. This is the Wren part that has been damaged, built in the early 18th century. Fortunately, the fire did not get to the Tudor part. And because of the salvage squads turning out, which are our own salvage squads, they turn out to save the treasures. They turned out in the middle of the night, and they saved a lot of the paintings, which is very good news indeed. The tragedy is that it appears that somebody is dead.
What has actually been damaged?
Mainly paintings. The furniture was got out. I think only 1 or 2 pieces of furniture were lost. The ornaments were also saved, and the paintings suffering from water and smoke damage, basically. And some of the Tudor paintings have been damaged. The Field of the Cloth of Gold, a very, very famous painting. a very early painting, and also the famous one of Henry VIII and his family. And so the picture stores have got a big job to do.
I know it's very early stages, but what sort of work is going to have to go on now?
Well, huge. You can see the damage behind me. The roof has gone on this building. It's now raining, so the actual building's got to be protected after the firemen have cleared away all the debris and all the damage. And it'll be out. This part of the palace will be out of action for some time.
Are we talking about several months?
I would have thought so. Fortunately, we have the craftsmen in our country who can repair this, the wood craftsmen and the plasterers, and they've got a big job ahead of them.
That's lovely, thanks very much. It was just about the old lady who lived here, and the question of safety. Now, she'd been living here, hadn't she, for some time on her own, and there was some concern for her safety.
She had lived alone for about 4 years since her husband had died, and her neighbours were worried about her ability to care properly for herself.
Why was that?
She was getting increasingly vague, and they were worried about her use of candles.
What did she used to do?
She used to light candles for light to go to bed with.
That's lovely.
I can't say.
Coming down tomorrow. The main work that we've got on at the moment is to search an area of heavy debris.
Right.
That's very difficult. It's a confined area in which we're working, and there is also the constant danger of other collapses, but we make progress steadily.
Right. When we do... Are we rolling? Oh, fine. As I say, this is going out tomorrow morning, so I think the most important question from my point of view is the kind of operation that it was, you know, to try and save Hampton Court, and the sort of number of men involved, and, you know, whether or not you felt it was successful, and it's slightly early days, a successful job has been done. But first of all, can you just tell me the scale of the operation?
The brigade has a pre-planned format for attending historical buildings of this nature, and immediately we would have been aware that a fire was here. This would have come into action to get the brigade, a lot of men and machinery into action very quickly. The type of firefighting operation that we would be involved in fairly immediately, we knew on arrival that there was a fire in a domestic part of the premises over the staterooms. We also suspected, from information that we had, that persons were involved, and firefighting is then subordinated to the task of search. As reinforcements build up, the most deeply penetrated crews continue to gain entry towards the seat of the fire, and to effect even more systematic searching, and the operation starts to build up from there. Eventually, at some point this morning, I can't even remember the time now, I asked for 20 pumps together with sufficient turntable ladders and hydraulic platforms to ensure that were the fire to break out in any other direction, the brigade could contain it. And that really the concentration of firefighting effort, apart from the need to effect a rescue, has been to save the parts of the building that wouldn't be damaged.
It must be very difficult, though, because while you're trying to put the fire out, you're also trying to save very valuable paintings and other, you know, works of art.
Yes. Yes, this is the type of build-up that we have. We have deep penetration of crews to effect rescues. We have firefighting crews placed into position, backed up by salvage crews. And this is a fairly, I was going to say normal. It's obviously abnormal in the sense that it doesn't happen at Hampton Court often, thank goodness. But in firefighting, we have this stage of development: rescue, firefighting deployment, and salvaging of property.
Again, early days, but what kind of damage are we looking at?
I think it's quite substantial. I can't estimate costs. I don't know the value of any of the properties that were in there, but as far as the structure goes, it's very severe damage to the east side of the building. Roof, 2 galleries, and some collapse.
That's fine.
Okay.
I think I've written it down. Can you just say your name and title on
Yes,
the
it's
tape?
Roy Snarey,
That's SNA.
SNAREY,
Right.
Assistant Chief Officer.
London Fire Brigade. That's lovely. Thanks very much indeed.